Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us the truth, and salutations to the sincere Akim and Aqua that may listen. May the blessing of election be over your house. My name is Brother Requai. I'm back in here with another video, and today is going to be a bit more short than the last video. So my last video I was discussing the Allure of Babylon, and some of it was going into some of the practices, some of the ancient ways of our people, right? And I'm just going to be using some of the experiences that I had, like growing up in the islands, and then just using that and kind of filtering that through the scriptures, right? Because I grew up there, and one of the things that we used to do, we used to have this mentality of kind of living off the land, and that is something that is not actually well practiced in Babylon, right? And I kind of wanted to go into, I saw this cool article I just wanted to share with you, because one of the things that we used to do was, a lot of us like had our own plot of land. And, some of us had like our own fruits and vegetables. And some people, like I remember my grandmother, for example, used to go to the market and sell, different fruits and vegetables. Because one of the practices that we had was a system called bartering. So, which means that you exchange goods and services for other goods and services without money, right? Another thing that we also used to do was when we got sick, for example, our first thought wasn't to always go to the drugstore and buy some Advil or some Tylenol or whatnot. We had like a lot of ways using herbs and using plants to be able to alleviate different pains and stress and colds and sicknesses, right? And one of the things that I used to do, that I grew up with was the orange peel tea. Now, essentially what it is you peel an orange and you take it and you dry it for like a considerable amount of time. So we used to dry it in the sun, maybe for like a day or so, maybe a couple of days. And we used to use that and, use it as in a diffuser or use it to make tea, right? Because from what I've researched recently from this article that I'm going to bring out, that there was a plethora of, different benefits, right? So another practices that we also used to do was to leave, food for the poor, right? And give to, those who are in more of need, right? As a matter of fact, before I start off with the article, I just want to bring out this quick scripture. Okay, so this is Leviticus 19, verse 9. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither thou shalt gather the gleanings of thy harvest, and thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger. I am the Lord Yahweh your power, right? So, the objective is not to, take all the harvest off from the field, but leave a percentage, for the, the poor and the needy, right? Because they're still in need, right? But so these are some of the ancient ways, and some of the things that we did that was also in our spirit, to that we did, we still do to this day, right? It's in the islands especially. because it's very, very small town, very small community. People know each other. This is not to, get sidetracked with the fact that, us in the islands are going off, because Christianity is still prevalent in those islands, right? And a lot of people are going off in those ways. But the point of this lesson is to understand that a lot of us Israelites in these different tribes, that we still hold on to a lot of these ancient ways, you know. And when we come to these lands like Babylon the Great and these first world countries, a lot of our people get perverted and neglect a lot of these ancient ways, right? From this wine that Babylon pushes, right? So, without further ado, I have a quick article I want to share with you. Okay, so this is 10 amazing health benefits of orange peels. So I'm just going to skim through it, but so here it goes. It may surprise you that orange peels have about 4 times more health benefits than the actual orange fruit that we eat. Orange peels contain flavonoids like polymethoxyflavones and hesperidin and other phytochemicals that are highly beneficial for your health. Flavonoids are antioxidant compounds that help chronic diseases such as cancer and heart diseases. It also contains higher amounts of nutrients. For example, 3 ounces of orange peel provides 136 milligrams of vitamin C. In addition, orange peel contains considerable amounts of copper, calcium, magnesium, vitamin A, and dietary fiber. Right? So here it goes a little bit more into some of the benefits of orange peels. So here it says support healthy heart. Orange peels contain hesperidin, a flavonoid that helps maintain the blood pressure and cholesterol. The polymethoxylated flavones found in orange peels also help lower cholesterol more effectively than drugs. Histamines are chemicals that are responsible for allergic reactions. Orange peels contain compounds that help prevent histamine release. Here it says prevent cancer. Let's see. Orange peels can help slow down the growth of cancer cells. Orange peels can reduce the number of squamous cell carcinoma, a fatal type of skin cancer. People who consume orange peels on a regular basis have fewer chance of being diagnosed with lung cancer and skin cancer than those who only eat the orange inside. Reduce weight. So here it says better digestion. This one was new for me. I did not know this, the cure hangover portion. Orange peel is one of the best things that can help cure a hangover. Just boil a peel for about 15 to 20 minutes. Drink it like tea to get rid of a hangover. Treat bad breath. So I mostly, growing up, it was mostly for, what's it called? Infections, cold and flu and stuff like that, This makes orange peel a natural antioxidant to help boost your immune system and fight off germs and viruses. Treat skin problems. Orange peels can help cure multiple skin problems such as blackheads, dead cells, acne, pores, dark circles, dark skin. It may help brighten your skin. And here it says orange peels can help remove phlegm and hence cure asthma. Right? So this is one of the things that, my parents used to do for me growing up. This is something you can also do yourself. All you have to do is dry it. You have to peel it first and then dry it. And then you dry it for a couple of days. And then you can, you break a piece off and then you can You could draw from it from a diffuser, or you can use it in a tea, right? So I'm just gonna get another script. Okay, so this is Sirach 38, verse 1. Oh, excuse me. Honor a physician, and the honor due unto him for the uses which he may have of him, for the Lord hath created him, right? So our physician is Yahweh Shai, and our healing comes through, first and foremost, his word, right? For of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. Verse 4, the Lord Yahweh have created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Right? So in these different things, these different practices are people actually practiced back then, or even to this day, right? They still hold on to some of those traditions, and they still do those very same practices to remedy the situations, especially to do with their body, right? But the point is that, when our people move out to these different islands, move out to these different countries, especially like Babylon the Great, we forsake a lot of these traditions, and then we get caught up into these foods that are not beneficial to our health, and the lifestyle that is completely contrary to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. The alphabet lifestyle, the getting lineups, the feminism, and so on and so forth, that are just which completely destroys our people. And this is one of the reasons that these other nations are upset with Babylon, right? Because they push this wine and this vibration onto these younger generations. And now the talk these days is the children, the alphabet people are pushing this vibration and pushing this Sodom and Gomorrah spirit upon these children, right? Starting at a very, very young age, having like drag queens read to children. There's really, really no reason these children need to know about this filthy lifestyle, right? So what I'm going to do, I brought out this script in the last lesson, but I'm just going to drive it home with this, Salaki. Okay. This is Jeremiah 51, verse 7. The Lord, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, which made all the earth drunken, the nations of drunken under wine. So this wine refers to these different philosophies that these countries, that Babylon pushes upon these countries, right? One of these philosophies would be, feminism, and democracy. These are two primary examples, right? And especially countries in the Middle East, like Iran and Iraq, at least the people back, those ancient peoples, the older generations actually understand that there is an order, right? And what Babylon, this wine, is doing is pushing and trying to push against that order, corrupting the minds of, these men and these young women as well, right? Because they've seen what happens to the younger generation, especially the women, when they take on this vibration, right? It sets everything out of order, right? There are studies now coming out in America saying that women, I believe it's over the age of 30 or 40 years old, there are the most lonely demographic, right? Because feminism teaches them that to go chase your career, go chase your bag, and go delay, give all those. But secretly, what it does is women are being tricked into giving all their precious young years when you're fertile and you're young, and you're still malleable, and it pushes that Babylon vibration. So you sacrifice all your youthful years, working for these companies or for these corporations, right? Because you're just a bunch of bodies, right, to these people. And then when you're actually now you want to settle down, find a husband, and find a family, it's a lot harder on your body to actually do so, right? So this is one of the things that is happening in Babylon the Great, and it's just disrupting the whole like dating market and so on and so forth. But this is part of that wine, and this is why a lot of these nations, especially in the East, are upset with Babylon the Great. Another example is this whole pipeline situation that has happened in the last few months. Sorry, Salaki, it was like a few weeks ago, I believe, with the those two pipelines that exploded, and it was a pipeline from Russia, and it was going to it was pushing oil to Germany, and now the pipeline was destroyed, and now it's like, okay, now these EU nations, like Germany, France, and Poland cannot benefit, from the resources that Russia was giving them. So, this is one of the reasons that, the nations are mad, right? Because America now is looking very suspicious, right? These are, the European nations are their allies. However, they've been kind of left in the dung and left in the mud, after this whole situation, right? So anyways, you can go and do some more research on some of these topics, like the whole pipeline situation, and that's causing a rift between America and these EU nations at the moment, right? So to continue, verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, let us go, everyone into our own country, for her judgment reached unto heaven and lifted up even to the skies, right? So there's a lot of things that, America has to pay for. And, there was something I was just listening to from the brothers in GMS Dallas. America is one of those countries that wants you to remember the atrocities that happen, like, for example, like 9/11 or Pearl Harbor, these sorts of atrocities. But when it comes to the plight and the atrocities of our people, such as the things that Christopher Columbus did, or the things that Oliver Cromwell did, and the different presidents, for example, Lyndon Baines Johnson with his Great Society, Richard Nixon with his so-called war on drugs, Planned Parenthood. No one wants to remember these things, Tuskegee experiments, or anything, any of those things, right? So it's very interesting. America is very selective about their judgment, but all of these things are things that they're going to have to pay for, right? Let me just, I just got another script in my head, actually. Just want to end off with this thing. Okay, so this is 2 Thessalonians 1 verse 6, seeing that it is a righteous thing with the Most High Yahweh to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you, right? So, eventually America is going to get its judgment. Their armies are weakening with, all these alphabet people, and this weak generation that is created by Babylon, right? That is one of the reasons that countries like China is guarding against that Babylon spirit, that spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah spirit, because it's realizing that it's weakening their men, right? So anyways, I will going to end it off here. But hopefully this video was edifying. And I just like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us the truth. Till next time, I say, Shalom.